The New England Patriots open up at a measly 4.5. The lowest opening win total prediction or win total since 1991. Whew, that's rough.
Pretty bad.
4.5 is a very low total, but when you look at this roster and you look at the schedule, I don't see many more wins than that. What say you?
Yeah, this is a bet. Would I be shocked if they win 5 games? No, but
yeah.
Again, we're talking about you have to make a binary prediction over or under. If I had to
every one of their team has healthy people, right? So that's what we have to predict it on.
Of course. I kind of disagree with you there because we know there's going to be injuries. There's always injuries. So you kind of have to look at depth of the roster.
There's going to be injuries, right? But we can't say on any given Sunday that, Tua's not going to be playing, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be injuries, of course, but you just don't know who and how big of an impact.
Yeah, and that makes it even easier because they don't have a Tua. So it's not going to matter. Either way, even if they did, they're probably going under. I think under. Absolutely, I would hammer it. If they win 5 games, I'm not shocked, but I think they're probably going to win right at 4. Because, one, let's just be honest about this. No one knows if Jerod Mayo is a good football coach. No one knows. He might be. We don't know.
Yeah, I'd even be willing to bet that he's not a good football coach.
If I had to bet, I would bet he's not just because the odds are that he's not. But I don't know.
So not only that, but you have a rookie quarterback, right, that we don't know much about, that was hammered in this, before the draft, right? Like everybody was just on him, and we don't know what he's going to turn out to be.
I don't think he's going to be the starter.
Well, at some point, I think we both agree he will be this year. I think he'll overtake that from Brissett at some point.
I don't know.
But whether he does or not, the closest comparison we have to a rookie quarterback being, great and having to completely change the face of a team would be the Texans with C.J. Stroud. And we know for a fact that Drake Maye is not C.J. Stroud.
Correct. And they also don't have, I assume, the coach that the Texans have and the roster, because the Texans did have a solid roster, and C.J. Stroud is a generational talent. I wasn't as low on Drake Maye as a lot of people seem to start being, but he is a project. Drake Maye, to me, probably needs to sit a year or 2. Like, he's more in that Jordan Love vein. He's got to learn. I think, because also, if you put him out there this year, you're going to destroy his confidence. I think you said, he's going to start sometime. He probably will start because that's how franchises are. The fans get angry and they want him to start. But if we were being realistic and saying, we're not listening to fans, we're not listening to media, our jobs are safe, we're going to make the best decision. The best decision would be to let Brissett play the whole year. Because if we send Drake Maye out there and it goes very badly and we're losing and he's getting beat up, we're going to have a Bryce Young situation where his career is probably ruined.
Or Mac Jones.
Exactly right. Granted, he didn't have a lot of help at the coordinator position, but after that year, he was done.
Yeah.
It ruined him.
Yeah, we don't know, like you said, we don't know what Mayo's going to be. Again, if I was a betting man, I would say that he's probably not going to be a super successful head coach, just from what I've heard about him and how he's really just trying to be a Belichick 2.0.
Well, I mean, he comes from the Belichick family, the Belichick tree. That's what was so weird to me. It's like, you're going to fire Bill Belichick and then you're going to hire inside the building and try to kind of
when you make a blood oath, Tristan, you have to keep it. Like,
yeah, good point.
That's what it is.
Robert Kraft and Jerod Mayo were cutting palms at midnight.
Right. And so, comparing Drake Maye to C.J. Stroud, right? Like, that doesn't happen. That C.J. Stroud's probably the best rookie we've ever seen in NFL, maybe.
One of.
It's phenomenal what he's accomplished and what he continues to. And D'Amico Ryan, same thing, right? It's rare that you see a defensive coordinator go to be a head coach in an offensive league and be that good. But he's done it, and so I haven't seen anything that Mayo's done to wow me in the offseason as far as surrounding himself with like really good coordinators or anything like that. I know they got some new help in there, but when you look at the schedule, man, it's daunting.
It's bad.
And when you look at this roster, it's depleted.
Well, the roster's awful.
And they're deficient in every category, period. 4.5 is a stretch. I looked through this before our show. I struggle.
Who are they beating?
Tell me. That's what I'm waiting on. Like,
obviously, they're going to win a couple games they shouldn't.
Right. And I imagine it's probably going to be one of these, like the Jets, they play twice. They're not going to, Miami's going to sweep them, as long as Tua is healthy. Buffalo will probably sweep them.
Maybe you beat the Titans. I doubt it.
Arizona? Maybe. Arizona. But you're also at Arizona, so that's, I don't know. And then maybe the Colts slip up, maybe? Possibly?
Maybe, but I think, Shane Steichen, I'm really high on. Just say You give them the Titans, you give them a Jets game, and you give them
3. I have them at 3.
Yeah, give them another. Just pick one, and that's 3. So you would have to have 2 more to get to 5 to get
2
over.
more, yeah. So say I give them 3 just looking at the schedule, right? Like that's all.
Yeah.
I max out at 3. They're at 4.5.
Be generous and give them the Seahawks too. There's 4.
Yeah, maybe. And then maybe, so this is where I wouldn't be surprised if Tua or Aaron Rodgers gets hurt and like they win a game off of an injury that they shouldn't have won, then that's where that 5 comes in. But right now, man, I got them under. I got them 3. 3 wins is as best as I could get for them. I'm sorry about it. It's a rebuild year. Completely blow it up, redo it, build it over again. Mayo will probably be out in 2 years. Oh, mark my word. If I call that just now, I'm calling it, and I'm the first one to call it.
Well,
I don't think Mayo will be there in 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised. And before we move to the next team, I got to show you the graphic of them from last year. They haven't added a lot of talent, and this is what their stats were last year. Offensively, points per game, worst in the league. Yards per game, 30th. Pass yards, 28th. Rush yards, 26th. Sub 25th in all of the offensive categories. Defense, with Bill Belichick, points per game, 15th. Yards per game, 7th. Pass yards, 11th. Rush yards, 4th. Obviously, last year, Ryan, bad roster with Bill Belichick, they finished 4-13. So now you bring in Jerod Mayo, rookie quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, and a whole new team organization, but just as bad a roster, and you're going to win more games than Bill Belichick? I find that incredibly hard to believe. I'll be shocked if they win 5 or 6 games.